All right, pull up a chair and let me tell you this one. You're not going to believe how fast a perfect Saturday can go sideways in suburbia. Picture this. I'm standing in my own backyard, minding my business. And my neighbor, the one with the manicured nails and a temper to match, is straight up shrieking at me. I don't know what kind of ghetto drug money you used to get into this neighborhood, but you and your kind are not welcome here. You're a threat to our children. Yeah, that really happened. In front of God, my fence, and everybody. But to really get how good that moment felt, you got to rewind the tape about 6 months. Let me set the scene. I just made chief, 25 years crawling up the ranks from the roughest streets to detective sergeant lieutenant all the way to captain. My life had been nothing but blue uniforms and paperwork and missed holidays. But this time the grind finally paid off. New job, new salary, and for the first time in my life, I could actually afford one of those neighborhoods you see in real estate magazines. Willow Creek Estates. The name alone sounded peaceful. Big old oaks, brick homes with wide yards, kids on bikes, the whole nine. But the real cherry, my backyard. A huge private fenced stone patio grill fit for an army, and right in the middle, an in-ground saltwater pool. Blue lights glowing at night like some resort in a movie. After years of apartments and postage stamp yards, it was heaven. I'd sit out there with a cold beer breathing in fresh-cut grass instead of city fumes thinking, man, I finally made it. My neighbors on one side were a sweet retired couple, kept to themselves. But on the other side, that's where Karen lived. And if you're thinking, was her name really Karen? Let's just say, if there's a handbook for Karens, she wrote it. This woman, always in athleisure, never seen breaking a sweat. That sharp-angled bob haircut looked like it could cut glass. Her husband, a twitchy little guy, always darting glances, vanishing inside if she was nearby. Their son, Braden, was a college kid home for the summer. Same attitude as his mother, only louder and rolling up in a Mustang that shook the street. My first week, I'm outside planting flowers, just settling in. Karen strides across her perfect lawn onto mine, not a smile in sight, and demands, "The Homeowners Association has very strict guidelines. I'll need to see a pre-approved plan for whatever that is." She waves her hand, like my flowers are a biohazard. I wiped dirt on my jeans and said, "Good morning to you too. I'm your new neighbor." Didn't faze her. She announced she was head of the welcoming committee and the HOA aesthetics board, like she was queen of Willow Creek. All modifications had to be approved in writing. I told her, "Thanks for the warm welcome. I'll keep it in mind." She marched off, not a handshake, not a smile. From that day, she didn't see a neighbor. She saw a problem to solve. My peaceful sanctuary. About to get a lot less peaceful. The little jabs kept coming. A barbecue with my brother's family. I catch her peeking through her fence. Then a text dings my phone. HOA noise ordinances begin at 9 p.m. Please be considerate. It's 3 in the afternoon. I ignore it. Next, another text. The music is still quite loud and I'm smelling a lot of smoke. Are you using a regulation-compliant grill? I looked at my fancy new grill and laughed. Decided to mess with her, called over. Hey, smells good, right? Got plenty if you and your husband want to join. Silence. She vanished. Small win, but it tasted sweet. Next time it's a security company van in front of my house just for a few hours. That evening, an HOA violation email lands in my inbox with a picture attached. Unapproved commercial vehicles. 4 pages of rules just for parking. I wrote back, "Thanks for the info. Won't happen again. Truth is, I've seen real criminals." A suburban queen with a rule book didn't scare me. In fact, watching her play sheriff was almost entertaining. I was polite. I waved big. It drove her nuts. She wanted me to lose my cool, to yell, to fit her stereotype of the angry black neighbor. I just smiled, watered my illegal petunias, and enjoyed my backyard, my calm. That was her kryptonite. But here's where things caught fire. Braden, the son that kid, was something else. He'd blast down the street in his Mustang windows, rattling, never waving, always glaring. I let it go. Not a crime to be obnoxious. But one Thursday I'm home working and I hear him outside on his phone pacing, bragging, "My parents are gone this weekend. We got the house backyard pool. It's going to be epic." I figure, okay, party at their place. Typical. He gathers friends in the driveway. "Tell everyone. Post it on Snap. The more the merrier. My place. Saturday at 2. Red flag goes up. This is how you end up with a house full of kids and a yard full of beer cans." Saturday comes perfect pool weather. I'm ready for a lazy afternoon. I see Karen and her husband leave, dressed for golf. Karen shooting daggers at me as they drive off. I wave, she ignores it. Around 2, a parade of cars starts parking all up and down the street. Teens everywhere. Suddenly, 3 boys I've never seen before wander right into my backyard, towels and beer in hand. I sit up in my chair. "Excuse me, can I help you?" They freeze. Is this the party?" "Nope," I say, "wrong house." "Braden lives next door." They apologize and bolt. But it keeps happening. Girls, boys, more and more, all aiming for my pool. And then it hits me. Braden has told every kid in Northwood High the party is at my place. My house, my pool. He's just assumed I won't do anything. It's so arrogant, so dumb, I almost want to see what happens. Then here comes Braden strutting around the corner with his buddies talking up his pool. He doesn't even see me at first, just showing off. One friend finally notices me. Braden stops dead, all bravado, drains away. He storms over, tries to puff up. "What are you doing here?" I sip my beer and say, "I live here." "What are you doing inviting half the school to my house?" He blusters, "This is my party. My dad knows the owner. You need to leave before I have you thrown out for trespassing." I nearly laughed in his face. I let him run his mouth, then ask, "So, you invited 100 kids to a backyard you don't own, and now you're threatening the actual homeowner?" He turns red, doubling down on the lies. "This isn't your house. My dad plays golf with the owner, Mr. Albright Henderson." I could barely keep a straight face. "Well, Mr. Henderson's going to be surprised when he gets my water bill. You got 2 minutes to clear this yard, or I call the cops. And trust me, you don't want that." That's when he makes the rookie mistake, threatens to call the cops on me. So I stand up. I've got a good 6 inches on the kid, and I say, "Great idea. Let's do it now." He backs up suddenly, not so brave. And instead of a phone, I pull out my badge, gold shiny, chief of police. "You've got 2 minutes. Start moving." The look on his face, priceless. Suddenly this king of the party is pale and speechless. You're the chief. All the teens scatter, sprinting for their cars, gone in seconds. Braden just stands there deflated. His friends ditch him. "You're gonna regret this," he hisses. "My mom's on the HOA. She knows the mayor. She'll have your job." I shook my head, told him to clean up the mess, and listed every possible charge: trespassing, contributing to minors. He nearly cried, swore never to do it again, and ran home. 10 minutes later, Karen's SUV screeches back. She storms over, face flaming, and lets loose. "You terrorized my son. You humiliated him." I let her rant. And then it came the big one. I don't know what kind of ghetto drug money. That's when I stopped her. Just looked her in the eye. Let the words hang in the air. She expected me to blow up. I just said, "Are you finished?" She doubled down, threatened to sue, to call the cops. Have me arrested for threatening a minor. So I stood calm as ever. Karen, when you call the dispatcher, routes it to a sergeant, then a captain. If it gets complicated, it goes to me, Chief Williams. Her face went from crimson to chalk. She'd picked a fight with the chief of police and lost. Badly. The next day, a white envelope HOA violation, unapproved petunias. It was on. Karen started burying me in paper cuts, trash cans, hoses, flowers. But I'm a cop. I know rules. That weekend, I read the entire 128-page HOA rulebook cover to cover. I found that Karen's fence completely illegal, no city permit, never approved. Her husband's landscaping company, the only one paid by the HOA with no competitive bids, a clear conflict of interest, possibly fraud. I sent certified letters for all HOA records, flagged her illegal fence to the city, and started talking to other neighbors. Turns out everyone had a Karen story. Wind chimes creating auditory pollution. Kids' swings not in keeping with the aesthetic. She ran the place like a dictatorship. So we formed a quiet little resistance. A lawyer, an accountant, the wind chime couple. Together we got the city to issue a citation for her illegal fence. She tried to call an emergency HOA meeting to put the heat on me, but she'd walked right into her own trap. My team and I showed up by the book and publicly asked about missing financial records, her husband's contract, and the fence. She had nothing. The room turned. Homeowners voted her out, froze the HOA accounts, and demanded a full audit. She and her husband left humiliated with the whole neighborhood watching. Turns out they'd siphoned tens of thousands from the HOA over the years. Instead of pressing charges, the new board made them pay back the money fund, the audit, tear down the fence, and apologize to every homeowner. For sale sign went up the next week. They were out. The neighborhood changed. People smiled, more wind chimes returned, the new family moved in, and the pools opened to everyone. My backyard is peaceful again, petunias, thriving, beer cold. And sometimes I sit out there and wonder how many Karens are out there building fortresses out of fear and prejudice, never realizing they're the prisoners. If you've ever stood up to a bully or lived through your own HOA hell, let me know in the comments. Who do you think really won here? And what does justice look like in your neighborhood? Drop your stories, your battles, and your thoughts below, because out here the pool's open, as long as you're invited.